It rarely looks dramatic in the beginning. No explosions. No obvious breaking point. It usually starts in silence. You're small. 7, 8, 9 years old. And one day, without ceremony, you realize something terrifying. The adults in your world are not okay. Maybe one drinks too much. Maybe one is always angry. Maybe one is emotionally absent, hollow, unreachable. Maybe both are drowning in their own unresolved pain. And you feel it, not as a thought, as a pressure. A quiet internal alarm that whispers, if I don't become stable, everything will collapse. So you adjust. Not consciously. Not with words. Your nervous system makes the decision for you. You become quieter. More observant. Less needy. You start reading faces the way other kids read picture books. You notice shifts in tone. Tiny changes in breathing. The moment a room becomes unsafe. Before anyone teaches you algebra, your body learns emotional calculus. And just like that, childhood begins to close. Not because you chose to grow up, but because you had to. This is the psychology of the child who grew up too fast. Not a gifted child. Not an old soul. Not a naturally mature personality. A child in survival. A child who learned, being small is dangerous. Having needs is dangerous. Depending on others is dangerous. So you become useful. You become reliable. You become the kid who never causes problems. The kid who helps. The kid who understands. The kid who doesn't ask for much. Adults call you special. You're so mature. You're so responsible. You're wise beyond your years. They say it like a compliment. But what they're really praising is your abandonment of yourself. Psychologists call this parentification. It happens when a child is forced, emotionally or practically, to take on roles meant for adults. You become the emotional support system, the peacekeeper, the mediator, the little therapist, the protector. Sometimes you raise siblings. Sometimes you raise your parents. Sometimes you raise yourself. And while your body keeps growing, your inner world freezes in survival mode. Because childhood is supposed to be a one-way flow. Care flows down. Safety flows down. Support flows down. But in your world, it flowed up. And when that happens, the brain wires itself differently. Instead of developing around curiosity, play, and exploration, it develops around scanning, monitoring, anticipating, preventing disaster. This creates something called hypervigilance. Your nervous system is always on, always watching, always listening, always preparing, even in calm rooms, even on peaceful days, even when nothing is technically wrong. Your body doesn't relax, because relaxation was never safe. When you were young, calm meant something bad is about to happen. So now, as an adult, peace feels suspicious, stillness feels uncomfortable, silence feels heavy, chaos feels familiar, and familiar feels safe. This is why many people who grew up too fast end up recreating stressful environments later in life. Not because they enjoy suffering, but because their nervous system recognizes it. Feels like home. Growing up too fast also teaches a dangerous equation. Love equals usefulness. You were praised when you helped, not when you needed help. You were valued when you held it together, not when you fell apart. So your brain learned, if I am useful, I am lovable. And over time, I am what I provide. This becomes your identity, not a human being, a function, a role, a solution. You become the one others lean on, the strong one, the dependable one, the one who never breaks. But inside, there is a child who never got held, a child who never got asked, how are you doing? A child who never got to be messy, loud, needy, confused. That child didn't disappear. They went underground, buried beneath competence, buried beneath achievement, buried beneath a carefully constructed personality. And that buried child grows into an adult who looks high-functioning, but feels empty. You may recognize yourself in some of these. You struggle to ask for help. You feel uncomfortable when people try to take care of you. You downplay your pain. You minimize your needs. You feel guilty resting. You equate productivity with worth. You feel safest when you're useful. You secretly fear being a burden. You don't feel real unless you're doing something. These aren't flaws. They're adaptations. Brilliant ones. They kept you alive. But survival strategies don't expire automatically. They stay active long after danger is gone. So you grow into an adult body, with a childhood nervous system. That's why you might intellectually know, I'm safe now. But your body doesn't believe it. Because safety was never just an idea. It was an experience you didn't get enough of. Another common outcome of growing up too fast is hyperindependence. You don't rely on people. Not because you don't want connection, but because needing others once hurt too much. Depending on someone meant disappointment. It meant being let down. It meant being invisible. So you decided, I'll handle everything myself. That decision saved you. But later, it isolates you. You may crave closeness, but panic when it actually arrives. You may want intimacy, but feel suffocated when someone gets too close. You may long to be seen, but hide the moment someone looks too deeply, because being known feels dangerous. Growing up too fast also warps your relationship with emotions. You learned early that emotions complicate things. They create problems. They make adults unstable. So you learned to suppress, to swallow, to intellectualize. You became good at understanding feelings, but bad at feeling them. You can analyze pain, explain trauma, give advice, but struggle to sit inside your own sadness. You may even feel numb, not because nothing is wrong, but because numbness became your armor. When a child can't escape a painful environment, they escape inward. They dissociate. They detach. They leave their body psychologically. And that pattern can follow you into adulthood. You might feel disconnected from yourself, like you're watching your life instead of living it, like you're always slightly outside of your own experiences. That's not because you're broken. It's because at one point, leaving was safer than staying. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of growing up too fast is that no one usually notices. There's no obvious bruise, no headline trauma, no clear villain, just a slow erosion of childhood. You weren't beaten. You weren't abandoned physically. You were needed too much, relied on too much, expected to be strong too soon. And because of that, you may struggle with invalidation. You tell yourself, it wasn't that bad. Others had it worse. My parents did their best. I turned out fine. But fine is not the same as healed. Fine is functional. Fine is surviving. Fine is getting by. Healing is different. Healing feels messy. Healing feels emotional. Healing feels destabilizing. Because healing means you stop pretending nothing happened. And that's terrifying. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Children don't become parentified because they want power. They do it because they want attachment. They sense that being themselves is not enough to keep connection. So they become what's needed. This isn't weakness. It's intelligence. It's adaptation. It's love. But it's love that came at the cost of self-abandonment. You learned, if I disappear, maybe they'll stay. So you disappeared. Not physically, but internally. You stopped checking in with yourself. You stopped asking what you wanted. You stopped honoring what you felt. And over time, you forgot who you were before survival took over. That's why adulthood can feel confusing. You might have achievements, careers, relationships, but still feel empty, still feel lost, still feel like something is missing. What's missing is you. Not the adult you, the child you, the one who never got to exist safely. Healing doesn't start with becoming better. It starts with becoming honest. Honest about what you lost. Honest about what you didn't receive. Honest about the anger you were never allowed to feel. The grief, the resentment, the loneliness. You don't heal by forcing positivity. You heal by witnessing. By sitting with your story and saying, that was too much for a child. Because it was. No matter how capable you were. No matter how smart you were. No matter how mature you seemed. You were still a child. You deserved protection. You deserved softness. You deserved to be held. You deserved to be messy. You deserved to be irresponsible sometimes. You deserved to be taken care of. And you weren't. That matters. One of the biggest shifts in healing is realizing you don't need to earn rest. You don't need to earn love. You don't need to earn care. You don't need to earn gentleness. Those are not rewards. They are human rights. Another crucial step is learning to differentiate your adult self versus your inner child. Your adult self can handle responsibility. Your inner child never should have had to. So when you feel overwhelmed, instead of shaming yourself, you can ask, which part of me is activated right now? Often it's not your adult. It's a scared child inside an adult body. A child who thinks everything will fall apart again. A child who thinks they must fix everything. A child who thinks they're alone. That child doesn't need discipline. They don't need motivation. They don't need tough love. They need reassurance. They need consistency. They need presence. They need you. Healing looks like slowly becoming the parent you never had. Not perfect, not overnight, but consistently. You start saying things like, I see you, You don't have to be strong right now. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to need. I'm not leaving. This may feel strange at first, embarrassing, silly, pointless. But your nervous system understands repetition. Safety is built through consistency, not logic. Over time, you begin to notice changes. You pause before overextending. You notice resentment faster. You start setting small boundaries. You let yourself receive occasionally. You allow yourself to feel without immediately fixing. You start choosing relationships where you don't have to perform. These are signs of real healing, not dramatic transformation, subtle rewiring. And there will be grief, deep grief, because you will eventually realize you can never go back and give yourself the childhood you deserved. That loss hurts. It should. Grief is not a problem. It's an appropriate response to deprivation. Let yourself mourn. Mourn the carefree version of you that never got to exist. Mourn the safety you never had. Mourn the childhood you watched other kids live. Grief doesn't mean you're stuck. It means you're processing. And processing is movement. Here's the paradox. The child who grew up too fast often becomes the adult who must learn to grow up slowly. Slowly learning how to feel. Slowly learning how to rest. Slowly learning how to receive. Slowly learning how to play. Slowly learning how to trust. This is not regression. It's completion. You're finishing a developmental process that was interrupted. You are not broken. You are unfinished in a very specific way, and that can be repaired. Not erased. Not rewritten. But integrated. Your strength is real. Your resilience is real. Your intelligence is real. But you don't have to live inside those qualities 24/7. You are allowed to be soft. You are allowed to be uncertain. You are allowed to be held. You are allowed to need. You are allowed to exist without performing. If you grew up too fast, it doesn't mean your life is doomed. It means your story started in hard mode, and you survived. Now comes a different chapter. Not survival. Not endurance. Not constant self-sacrifice. But choice. You get to choose who you become. Not based on what was demanded of you, but based on who you actually are. And that person has always been there, waiting, quietly, patiently, for you to finally come back.